And welcome to Studio 5. Bethel Music's Paul and Hannah McClure are our special guests this week, and we're taking a closer look at the series from actor Ashton Kutcher that's helping young people to dig out of debt. But first, let's begin with this week's countdown of the top 5 stories in the world of uplifting entertainment. We begin with numbers 5 and number 4.
At number 5, look out there. Out there is the perfect lamp. You see it?
I think so.
Most people can't.
A first look at Ford versus Ferrari.
I think it's a movie for me about friendship. It's for movie what drove me to make the movie was the greatest friendships I've had in my life.
That true story of friendship is between an American car designer and a British driver who battle corporate interference, physics, and personal demons to build a revolutionary race car for the Ford Motor Company.
No. Whatever it is, Shell, no. Trust me.
In theaters this week, it stars Matt Damon as Carroll Shelby, the car designer, and Christian Bale as Ken Miles, the driver.
Of course it is acting, that's what we're doing, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a bond in that we are united in making a film.
At number 4, Michael Jackson's children, Paris and Prince, among those attending a special Motown family reunion in Beverly Hills Monday.
Love is love, and the power of love is so infinite. Everything we've done has been because of love.
And Motown founder Berry Gordy's love for his grandson Ryan is what's driving this night.
This night is about young kids that are experiencing cancer right now. Obviously, the foundation is in honor of Ryan Gordy, who is my son, and we lost him to leukemia a couple of years ago. But right now, tonight, in his honor, we're raising money to help kids that are going through what he went through.
That's a look at number 5 and number 4. We'll get to number 3 and number 2, and of course number 1 as the show continues. Paul and Hannah McClure are a husband and wife, mom and dad, singer and songwriter, as well as pillars in the Bethel music community. But this year, they released their first solo album. We sit down with them for a look at their lives and their project titled The Way Home.
You meet me on the mountain top. You see me in the valley low. There is no home without you here.
When I knew that I was going to sit down to speak with both of you, my first curiosity was, what's your love story? I know you began writing as teens together in North Carolina. How did you meet? What happened?
When I was about 16 years old, my dad said, hey, my friend Rob Spradley's starting a church in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I lived. And they need a drummer, so I was a bad drummer. And so I said, yeah, I'd love to play. So Hannah's brother Jesse was a worship pastor. Hannah played bass, and so we were the little.
You're pretty cool. A drummer and bass.
Man. I was like, yeah, I was like tucked in shirt, homeschooler, not cool, and Hannah was skater chick with pink hair and baggy jeans, and I was like, yeah, she's cool.
What led to you guys writing together, writing songs together? What happened?
I mean, we started writing emo songs before we wrote worship songs, just because that was kind of the genre then that we were into. Yeah. And we would, I mean, our brother-in-laws would always joke that we were just always sitting around singing together, but that was our thing. We loved playing music, and then I'd say we probably didn't start writing worship songs until we were 17 or 18.
How do you go from Greensboro and Raleigh to Reading?
I make Paul tell the story because he makes fun of me all the time that I leave details out. I'm not
like major details.
My heart will be all for you.
We were in North Carolina. We were worship pastors at the church that her dad started, also youth pastors. You know, small local church, you do everything. So they were like, you do music, you're cool, do the youth group. We took our youth group to an Acquire the Fire event, which is a youth group event. And the last night of the conference, a guy named Pat Barrett, who does music now, he was leading with this band called Unhindered and did the song How He Loves by John Mark McMillan. So we went home and looked it up on YouTube and found Kim Walker singing it, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves
and then saw that they were from this church called Bethel Church. We'd never heard of them. So we saw that they do this school of worship out there. And so 2010 we went out to the school, and it was just life-changing for us. And then we said, hey, we want to just be around those people. We didn't have a job opportunity. They weren't like, come. We knew we'd found the people that were running after the same thing. And so showed up in Redding. I did construction for 2 years when we moved there. And then I came on staff with the church managing the worship department.
Out of an empty grave, now seated alone in glory.
And now you sit launching out on your own. What took so long?
Sing hallelujah to the everlasting one.
We actually started writing for this album in 2016, and then it just wasn't right. It actually, there was a period of discouragement, I think, of like, are we good songwriters? Can we do this? It's been a process of finding our voices and really the Lord teaching us to lean into that process. And obviously we love creating and we love the songs that come out of it, but it's been more about learning in the process.
The project is called The Way Home.
Yes.
What does that mean, the way home?
When we were in this process of writing and creating, we were actually in the studio, and even the sound of the album is a little more from our roots back in North Carolina. And we said, hey, let's just remember when we were back in the emo days, just singing because it was fun, and writing songs because we loved to songwrite and not because it was for something. It's just because we loved it and we loved Jesus. And so Hannah was like, what if we, because we have a song on the album called The Way Home, she's like, what if we called the album The Way Home, kind of as a picture of just returning, kind of a returning to move forward, of just the return to the simplicity of singing for the love of it and for the love of Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's been the process and the journey of developing even just this confidence in what the Lord has called us to do, and The Way Home just sums all of that up.
And The Way Home is available right now wherever you purchase your music. And the McClures are coming back in just a little bit for a Studio 5 Sessions performance.
Still ahead.
So I saw your vision board, and the more crystallized the vision of that future you is, the more clear the steps to become that will become.
The Ashton Kutcher Project, to dig young people out from under a grave of student debt.
Okay, calm down and make millions. Right now, we have to get into what's practical.
I just want to get out of debt, and I want your help.
Get a look at Going From Broke next.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Hillsburg Falls, man. Come.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes, too. And so much more! Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
At number 3.
I wanted to love you as much as I love you.
Emmy, I got this.
Hey, Dad.
Welcome home, sweetie.
A few snapshots from the new Netflix holiday series starring Dennis Quaid as a strong-willed father enduring holiday stress when his daughter brings home her new boyfriend.
How easy was it to be the feisty, my way or the highway dad?
Well, very easy, because I don't know what's going on half the time at my house either. I'm gonna act like I do. This must be Matt.
Oh, cop car. It's like I'm a perp, you know, and you're just... Oh.
You play Matt, and you're like the fish out of water in this family?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. As you can tell from the poster.
I would say outsider.
Outsider.
Rather than fish out of water.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
He's the boss.
Merry Happy Whatever begins streaming on Netflix Thanksgiving Day.
The Quins are a G-rated cult. We have a sort of support group.
Support group for what?
The people who married into this family.
At number 2.
Self-care can be simple. It's being kind, starting with yourself. Because when we take care of ourselves, we take better care of each other.
That's the voice of Justin Bieber, who's sharing on Instagram he's partnering with a natural deodorant maker to change the conversation around mental health and to promote self-care. He's also encouraging people to hug more.
Here and now.
The company quickly replied, telling Justin's fans, "We can't wait to see your #HugMore pics." And with more than 2 million people liking the post in just 2 hours, #HugMore posts like these soon followed.
With that, we have only one more story remaining in our countdown. This week's number 1 is coming up in just a little bit. Actor Ashton Kutcher puts on his producer's hat and makes America's student debt crisis the star of a new television series. It's called Going From Broke. The show's host, Dan Rosenzweig, is standing by to join us. But first, let's take a quick look at the show.
44 million people have borrowed over $1.5 trillion in student loan debt.
$208,000. $300,000.
Around $120K debt.
We're going to help young people who are drowning in extreme debt.
When the world is pushing down on you, it's very hard. I'm broke, and I work all of the time. It doesn't feel like I'm paying it off.
I currently live in my car.
We are in a severe amount of debt. Our biggest fear is that we're going to lose our family.
I was able to take out $80,000 in loans. No 18-year-old should be able to do that.
This is a difficult situation. The good news is it can be solved if you choose to solve it.
So I saw your vision board, and the more crystallized the vision of that future you is, the more clear the steps to become that will become.
That was actor Ashton Kutcher, who's executive producer of the series, but the host of this series is Dan Rosenzweig, and he joins us right now. So Dan, let's begin with a look at the crisis. First, roughly 44 million Americans owe more than $1 trillion in federal student loans. Can you paint a picture of what this actually means?
Yeah, it's not a pretty picture. You take out a bunch of credit cards, you're paying 21% interest, then you're paying off your student debt, which has 6% interest, and you're defaulting on not only your debt, but your credit cards, your car payments, your credit score goes down, you can't get a home, people are delaying having children. This is a financial crisis that people do not appreciate is going to really hurt our economy, but more importantly, hurt our families.
Now, there are 10 episodes in Going From Broke. How does a television series help to tackle this crisis?
The show really was designed to track 10 different experiences where young people could go and see themselves in those experiences. They can say, hey, I'm not alone. And more importantly, if this person can do it, I can do it. It really helps people understand the importance of taking responsibility, and we're really grateful for the opportunity to produce the show.
Exactly what surprised you at the young people we're meeting in this series?
Well, I think what surprised me is that they get a very bad rap, and they're great. You know, we're in good hands for our future if we can just help them get a little financial freedom and independence so they're not creating a permanent debtor class. And so I was really proud of all the young people on the show, but humbled by what we put them through and grateful that hopefully the show can help them get out of it.
Now you have Ashton Kutcher as executive producer of this show. In working with him, what do you think was his motivation for being a part of this project?
So if you actually get to know Ashton, he's one of the brightest people that you'll ever meet. He's also one of the most passionate and compassionate. This is an anxiety crisis. This is creating more suicides amongst young people than we've ever seen. It's not just a financial crisis. And so he was passionate and compassionate about it, and that brought all of us on board.
Dan Rosenzweig, thank you so much for your time. And of course, you can find this series on Crackle. Stay with us, but first, here's a quick look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
He say the rest like me.
Kanye West and his Sunday service choir heads to Houston, where there are reports he's agreed to take the stage for Joel Osteen's incredibly popular Lakewood Church. With that news, there are quite a few photographs of the pastor and the rapper floating around, merged together and separately. And they are this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Still to come. The McClures deliver a new take on this single, Now I See.
To have sex before you marry is a bad idea.
Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faith Wire, Monday night at 9:30. The Global Lane takes you around the world, providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Watch The Global Lane, Thursday night at 9:30.
Number 1.
From a fancy dining car, they're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars.
Johnny's music at the Folsom Prison was a combination of sin and salvation.
The documentary, The Gift, The Journey of Johnny Cash, is now available on YouTube.
I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink.
It tells the story behind his live recording at Folsom Prison, much of it in his own words.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
And that is going to do it for this week's countdown. It also brings us back to this week's special guests, Paul and Hannah McClure. They're back with a Studio 5 Sessions performance. Here they are with Now I See.
Born to the darkness I was, rejected and cut off from home. I couldn't see his love for me. They said he's not who he seems. Don't get your hopes up for him. The lies fell away when I saw his face. My heart burst to life. I saw the light in his eyes when he looked at me. My whole world's on fire, alive in the presence that burns inside of me. Now I know whose I am, forever I'll stand on your truth. I believe, 'cause I was blind, but now I see. All of my days are filled with your praise. All of my days are filled with your praise. My heart burst to life. I saw delight in his eyes when he looked at me. My whole world's on fire, alive in the presence that burns inside of me. Now I know whose I am. Forever I'll stand on your truth. I believe, 'cause I was blind, but now I see. No one could ever take my song away. My eyes were open and I saw his face. No one could ever take away my faith. My life was changed the day that Jesus came. No one could ever take my song away. My eyes were open and I saw his face. No one could ever take away my faith. 'Cause my life was changed the day that Jesus came. Hey, my heart burst to life. I saw delight in his eyes when he looked at me. My whole world's on fire, alive in the presence that burns inside of me. Now I know whose I am. Forever I'll stand on your truth. I believe, 'cause I was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see.
Now I See. That's a single from the McClure's project, The Way Home. It is available right now.
Just moments away.
Hey, what do you guys think you're doing? This is Smearensburg, the unhappiest place on earth. And you two can't change that.
We're taking a look ahead to the holidays and holiday entertainment.
On the home front.
Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. CBN honors the men and women in our military with an initiative called Helping the Home Front. It partners with churches across the country to meet the needs of their military families, from repairing homes to wiping out medical bills for wounded veterans.
On the home front, Tuesday morning at 10:30.
If you want to be an attorney with a passion for serving people and for excellence, Regent University needs to be high on your list.
Regent's award-winning law school doesn't just create lawyers. We create leaders, judges, prosecutors and defense lawyers, civil litigators, and leaders in government.
My focus has been trying to really make sure we have the future leaders we need for the bench and the bar and for society generally.
You'll learn from highly credentialed leaders who are current and former judges, distinguished scholars, and ACLJ counsel.
I'm so glad I chose Regent. The relationships here have been amazing. The faculty have been amazing. Not everybody's called to the same thing when they leave law school, but they're called by a God who has a purpose for their lives, and He is going to use that education to make a difference in the world.
Regent will prepare you to be a purpose-driven, practice-ready lawyer. To start your rewarding law career, complete the online application, submit your transcripts, and take the law school admissions test by July. Apply today.
And welcome back to Studio 5. Music fuels this show, and it's probably no surprise. You heard Now I See from the McClures just a little while ago. So now see and hear why Only Have One is also playing in my ear. On that musical note, we are almost out of time for this episode of Studio 5. So let's fast forward just a bit and take a look at something we're working to bring you come next week.
Call him the Post Office Academy's worst student.
Hello? Jesper Johansson, postman. Mr. Klaus, you have a gift. You were meant for making toys. So I figured if you donate your old toys, I'll deliver them for free.
Tonight, I go with you.
There's no need for you to come with me, really.
So you give voice to Jesper, who's not a very good student
No, I wouldn't say that I'm very good at... No.
Actor Jason Schwartzman gives us a sneak peek at Klaus.
Shall we then?
Yep.
Mr. Klaus is the coolest.
Klaus? What about me? Ow! What the?
Loser!
Oh yeah, well if I'm a loser, then you're too far, you're gone.
Certainly hope you'll join us for that story and so much more come next week. This has truly been a great show with the McClures, so it's only fitting we let Paul and Hannah have the final word.
I think even this whole process has taught us to be present in the moment, and that it's really for us, we realize this album is not about some end result. You've arrived. It's about what did you learn along the way.
There really is no arrival.
Right.
I think when you're young, you think one day I'll get to this place and I'm gonna feel perfect. I'm going to feel like I've accomplished what I've, dreamt of my whole life, and you honestly never get to that point.
It's a journey.
I think even as like a Bethel music artist, you're like, oh, if I could just get a song on an album, if I could just go on tour, and you do those things, and it doesn't, you still go back to work on Monday, and your life is the same. So you just have to make sure your priorities are on seeking first the kingdom and enjoying your life, honestly.
Yeah. I've been to so many conferences, and you go looking for the answer, and then at the end, it's just spend more time with Jesus. That's the answer.
Hannah and Paul, that is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift those around you, and then come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.